Hello, and welcome back. What we are witnessing right now with Curtis is truly troubling. Yet I find myself understanding his frustration even if I do not entirely condone his actions. When he confronted Isaiah and Portia at the Metro Court, things escalated far too quickly. Isaiah's words about being a better father to the child were clearly meant to provoke, and in the heat of the moment, Curtis reacted with his fists. I keep asking myself, was it justified? The answer comes quickly for me. No. Violence is never the right response, no matter how deep the provocation runs. Curtis has always been a man of strength and principle, someone who has rebuilt his life after difficult times and shown real growth as a father and partner. But this time he let his emotions get the better of him, and that single punch has set off a chain of events that could change everything for everyone involved. I have seen Curtis face challenges before, from business troubles to family secrets, but this feels different because the stakes are so personal and immediate. The most fascinating part of this whole situation is Justine's position. As the assistant district attorney, she cannot simply look the other way, even though she shares a close friendship with Jordan. I remember how Justine had that meaningful conversation with Sonny recently, and it was clear she was wrestling with her conscience even then. She knows Curtis is the rock that Jordan has been leaning on during her difficult recovery from that terrible car accident. To now have to build a case against her friend's partner must be tearing her apart inside. Yet, as I always say about these dedicated professionals in Port Charles, duty calls. Justine will move forward with the prosecution despite the personal cost. She has to. That is what makes her character so compelling, her integrity and her quiet determination to do what is right even when it hurts. I have watched her navigate tough cases in the past, and this one stands out because it strikes so close to home. It is not just a job for her anymore. It is a test of friendship and principle all at once. Jordan must be feeling absolutely devastated by all of this. Just last week, she told Curtis that she did not believe Justine would actually pursue charges against him. That statement to me was the clearest sign that the charges were coming all along. Jordan has been through so much already. The car accident left her physically and emotionally vulnerable, and Curtis has been her steady support through every step of her recovery. Now, watching the man she relies on potentially facing jail time for assault is creating a new layer of anguish for her. This development is truly haunting Jordan in ways we have not seen before. The thought of Curtis being arrested and possibly imprisoned is becoming a new obsession for her, one that I fear could set back her recovery significantly if she lets it consume her. I have seen Jordan overcome enormous obstacles in her life, from police work to personal losses, and she has always shown remarkable resilience. But this situation feels heavier because it threatens the very stability she has been fighting to regain. I wonder how she will balance her loyalty to Curtis with the reality of what he has done, and whether this new pressure will push her to lean even more on her circle of friends. And let us not forget the severity of what Curtis did to Isaiah. That punch was not just a momentary loss of control, it may have permanently damaged Isaiah's surgical career. With his hand broken so badly that it will require multiple operations to heal properly, Isaiah's future as a doctor is hanging in the balance. This raises the stakes enormously. Curtis is not just facing legal consequences. He is potentially ruining another man's livelihood. I wonder how Portia feels about all this, standing in the middle between these two men who both have connections to her life and to the child she is carrying. Portia has her own complicated history here, and I can imagine the emotional whirlwind she must be experiencing. The show has always excelled at showing how one impulsive act ripples outward, touching everyone in the community, and this storyline is a perfect example of that. What makes this storyline so gripping is how it intertwines with the hit-and-run investigation. Curtis has been furious that Isaiah has not been properly investigated as the driver who fled the scene of the accident that injured Jordan. Now, to have the tables turned and be charged with assault himself, it is a bitter pill for Curtis to swallow. I can imagine his outrage when he learns of the charges. His life is about to be turned completely upside down. The man who has worked so hard to rebuild after his own past struggles now faces the very real possibility of losing his freedom. I have seen similar legal dramas play out on General Hospital before, like when other characters faced charges that tested their relationships and their sense of justice. But this one feels uniquely personal because it pits friends against each other in such a direct way. Justine knows she has no choice but to ignore any pleas from Jordan to drop the case. Professional ethics demand it. If she stepped aside, someone like Molly would likely take over anyway, and that would bring its own complications given Molly's past connection to Jordan's family. The upcoming court proceedings, if they happen, are going to make those friendly yoga sessions between the women incredibly awkward. Can their friendship survive this kind of professional conflict? I certainly hope so, but drama like this is what keeps General Hospital so addictive after all these years. As a longtime fan, I appreciate how the writers are forcing these characters to confront difficult moral questions without easy answers. Justine will proceed with the prosecution, and that decision, though painful, shows her commitment to her role. Curtis acted without thinking, and he must face the consequences. That is a lesson many of us have learned the hard way in our own lives. Yet I also believe there is room for understanding here. Curtis is not a malicious person. He is a father, a businessman, and someone who has shown tremendous growth over the years. However, actions have consequences, and in this case, the consequences could be severe. Will he actually serve time? That is the question burning in my mind as I watch each new episode. The show has surprised us before with unexpected twists in legal storylines, and I would not be shocked if something dramatic intervenes at the last moment, perhaps new evidence about the hit and run or a heartfelt conversation that changes perspectives. I have my own theory that this could lead to a deeper exploration of forgiveness and second chances, themes that General Hospital has always handled with such warmth and realism. This entire arc is also shining a light on the complicated relationships in Port Charles. We have friendships being tested, old wounds being reopened, and new tensions rising. It makes me reflect on how much the show has evolved while staying true to its roots of exploring human emotions under pressure. From my living room, I have cheered for these characters through marriages, divorces, illnesses, and triumphs. Now, as this legal drama unfolds, I am fully invested once again. The heat is truly on in Port Charles right now. Every episode leaves me eager for the next, wondering how Justine will handle the prosecution, how Jordan will cope with this new stress, and whether Curtis can find a way out of this mess without destroying everything he has built. It is stories like these that remind me why General Hospital remains the longest-running soap opera for a reason. The characters feel like old friends, and their struggles matter to us longtime viewers. I truly believe this storyline has the potential to deliver some of the most powerful performances we have seen in recent years. The emotional depth required from the actors playing Curtis, Jordan, and Justine is immense, and they have been delivering beautifully. As someone who has watched through countless head writers and cast changes, I can confidently say that when the show commits to exploring these kinds of interpersonal and ethical dilemmas, it shines brightest. I remember other storylines where friendship and duty collided. Think back to some of the classic courtroom battles or the medical ethics debates that kept us talking for weeks. This one stands apart because it feels so intimate, involving a tight-knit group of women whose yoga sessions used to be a source of comfort and now might become a source of tension. I can almost picture the quiet moments of hesitation Justine must be feeling as she prepares her case, knowing that every piece of evidence she gathers could hurt someone she cares about deeply. Looking ahead, I am excited to see how this affects the larger canvas of the show. Will Sonny get involved somehow, given his recent conversation with Justine? How will this impact family dynamics and other ongoing plots? The possibilities are endless, and that is what makes waking up to new episodes so thrilling even after all this time. I have no doubt that the writers have more surprises in store, perhaps a revelation about the car accident that reframes everything, or a moment of genuine reconciliation that heals some of these rifts. Whatever direction they choose, I trust they will handle it with the care and respect for the characters that has kept me watching for decades. What truly fascinates me is how this new development proves Curtis is now being haunted by Justine's growing obsession with the prosecution. She started out reluctant, torn between friendship and duty, but lately her determination has taken on a new intensity. It feels like a fresh obsession for her, one that goes beyond the courtroom and digs into personal loyalties. Curtis, who has always been the steady one, is clearly rattled by it. He thought the hit-and-run investigation would shield him somehow, but now these new attacks on Isaiah are shining an even brighter light on his actions. I have watched Curtis evolve from a complicated businessman into a devoted partner and father, yet this single mistake is threatening to unravel everything. The way Justine is pressing forward, ignoring any quiet pleas from Jordan, shows her quiet strength, and I respect that, even as it pains me to see old friends pulled apart. And oh, how this is exploding everything for Jordan. Her recovery from the car accident has been slow and painful, with Curtis as her main source of comfort. Now, with these new attacks on Isaiah proving the case against Curtis is stronger than ever, Jordan's world is reaching a breaking point. I can feel the tension building in every scene. She is trying so hard to hold herself together, but the fear of losing Curtis to prison is becoming an overwhelming force. It is like a new ending is bursting open for her, one that could shatter the fragile peace she has fought so hard to rebuild. The yoga group that once brought comfort now carries an undercurrent of worry, and I wonder if their friendships can survive the strain. Will Jordan finally break down and confront Justine directly? Or will she find a way to support Curtis while still facing the truth of what he did?